Welcome to another episode of Straight Talk. I am attorney Lia Badillo-Crisostomo. Joining us today is Department of Agriculture Secretary William Dar. Welcome to Straight Talk, Secretary Dar.
Maraming salamat, Lia, at saka lahat po na sumusubaybay itong programa mo, Straight Talk.
Yeah. Secretary Dar, you were chosen by our President to be one of the members of his cabinet. That means meron pong trust and confidence po doon, Secretary. Now, my first question to you would be, how will you describe PRRD as a leader?
Aba, si PRRD ay isa siyang leader na that gives you the overall direction, but after that, ay nandyan ka na as secretary to do the very right policy directions, yung mga strategies. So talagang suportado ka ng ating mahal na Pangulo, Rodrigo Duterte. Alam mo, ang bilin lang niya sa akin nung ako ay was requested to join his cabinet. Sabi niya, number one, Mr. Secretary, please grow and develop Philippine agriculture. Kasi ang growth ng Philippine agriculture the last 10 years ay nasa average na 1%. So pangalawa, sabi niya, do what is right and what is legal. So yun, I was guided by those two very general directions, and I think we did best in trying to unlock the potential of Philippine agriculture.
Yeah. Secretary Dar, just to interject, can you say po ba na si President Rodrigo Duterte ay isang strict na leader, isa po ba siyang funny na leader, or isa po ba siyang both? Best of both worlds po ba siya, sir?
Aba, siya ay compassionate, very loving, as a father of the country. And we consider him as the father in the cabinet. So walang restrictions. Pag may cabinet discussions, you are free to bring out your best of ideas. So ganun po ang ating presidente. He gives everyone the chance to air and or contribute the best of the ideas possible.
Okay. Secretary Dar, a lot of our viewers and commenters are wondering, what are the strengths and weaknesses of a President Rodrigo Duterte?
Well, halos karamihan na strengths ay nandyan na sa kanya. So, he delegates, he gives you more, the leeway to run your department. Then your ideas are well received during meetings in the cabinet. Wala akong nakikita na negative side ng ating mahal na Pangulo. So, ganun po ang aking reaction doon sa tanong po ninyo.
Okay. Secretary Dar, we can all agree na marami nga ho po talagang strength si President Rodrigo Duterte. Pero meron din pong ibang nagsasabi, siguro kung may isa pong weakness ang ating Pangulo, ay ito po ay kapag nakakapagsalita po siya ng, ang sinasabi po ng iba ay hindi daw po gentlemanly. Ano po ang masasabi niyo po doon, Secretary Dar?
Well, he's President Rodrigo Duterte, so straight from his heart. Yeah, that's a personality na kung anong nasa puso niya at damdamin niya, sinasabi po ng totoo.
And I think that would be notable also, Secretary, kasi kung ano ho ang pinapakita ho natin sa iba, dapat yun ho talaga tayo. Ngayon
Tama po kasi tingnan ninyo, ang popularity pa rin niya hanggang ngayon mataas.
Totoo ho
So
yan.
I think kung hindi ako nagkamali, 8 out of 10. So no other presidents in the past have maintained that high level of support from the masses.
Yes. Secretary Dar, alam mo, bago ko pumasok po dito sa interview, ang rami po nagtatanong sa akin, ano kaya ang most unforgettable memories ng isang cabinet secretary, specifically a Department of Agriculture secretary with President Duterte during his administration?
Alam ninyo, gusto kong banggitin palagi, pag nasa probinsya ako, kasi ang bilin-bilin palagi ng ating mahal na Pangulo ay yung pagsisilbi sa mga magsasaka at mangingisda. At sabi niya palagi na huwag mong kalimutan na andito ang presidente nila na sumusuporta strongly. And that's how passionate, that's how strong he is really supporting the agriculture sector. So, yan, mahal na mahal ng ating Pangulo, ang ating mga magsasaka at mangingisda.
Yes. Secretary Dar, masasabi niyo ho bang malaki po ang impluwensya ng Duterte administration sa Department of Agriculture ngayon pong mga panahon na ito?
Opo, definitely siya po ang inspiration natin, siya po ang gabay po natin. Alam niyo, alter ego tayo sa agriculture, pero siya pa rin ang presidente. So, that respect he deserves, and we always do our best so that we are able to grow Philippine agriculture to the best.
Alam mo, Secretary, I've known you for quite a time now, and I can say that you have exuded the leadership na kakailanganin po talaga sa Department of Agriculture. Now, my question is, Secretary Dar, what do you think is next for President Duterte after his administration? What do you think, in your personal opinion, sir?
Well, ang nakikita ko po ay he has made his legacy as President of the Republic of the Philippines. After his term, I believe, ang sabi po niya ay nandyan palagi tutulong sa mga maralita, mga masa. So, ganyan ang talagang pagmamahal ng ating ginagalang na Pangulo, ang pagmamahal niya sa masa.
Yeah. Secretary, before we take a short break, ano sa tingin ninyo ang pinakamalaking nabigay na impact ni President Duterte in relation to the agricultural sector of the Philippines?
Well, dito po sa administration ni President Rodrigo Roa Duterte ay tumaas po yung budget naman ng Department of Agriculture. So, yun, malaki po ang pagtaas. I think 2019, more than 60 billion. Then 2020, naging more than 80 billion na. And nadagdagan pa ng Bayanihan 1 and Bayanihan 2. So that is the a very important parameter na masasabi po natin. Under his leadership, we have now reached 85.5 billion pesos this year. Pero palagi ko rin sinasabi po na ay while we recognize yung big efforts ng ating mahal na Pangulo na dinagdagan po niya, pinataas niya yung budget ng kagawaran ng pagsasaka, ay halos ito po yung minimum requirement para makaangat tayo sa sektor ng agrikultura. Ang gusto kong sabihin po ay sana ay sa mga bagong leaders po natin, ang advocacy natin and hope ay kung pwedeng idoble o triplehin ang budget para mas masigla po ang pag-angat na ng sektor ng agrikultura sa bansa.
You know, Secretary, I'm sure that the next set of leaders are listening to your plea right now and will know more about the legacies of the Department of Agriculture after this short break. Stay with us.
Magandang araw mga katribo! Narito na ang mga makakasama nyo tuwing umaga sa programang Gising Na. Roy Pelevelo, Atty. Lia Badillo-Crisostomo, Vernon Velasco, Kim Sancha at Chirk Balagtas. Abangan ang programang Gising Na sa Facebook page ng Daily Tribune.
Ilabas na ang mainit na kape at samahan kami sa inyong pag-almusal, mga katribo.
Simulan natin ang bawat umaga with good vibes sa mga informative and recreational segments ng aming programa.
Maaari niyo rin ibahagi sa amin ang inyong opinion via Daily Tribune Facebook page at Tribune Now sa YouTube.
Makichika na rin sa latest showbiz happenings, mga katribo.
Kaya naman, magsama-sama po tayo sa
Gising Na!
Ang Daily Tribune may digital shows na din. Dahil sa mas lumalaki at mas lumalakas nating tribu, handog sa inyo ng Daily Tribune ang mga programang magbibigay buhay araw-araw. Be informed at mag-good vibes tuwing umaga sa programang Gising Na. Be updated sa news and happenings sa Tribune News on Cue. Mas kilalanin pa natin ang mga paborito nyong atleta sa programang The Athletes Tribune. Alamin ang latest entertainment sa programang What's Up. Ma-inspire sa mga kwentong hatid ng Perfect. Search lang ang Daily Tribune sa inyong Facebook at Tribune Now on YouTube. See you there mga katribu!
Welcome back to Straight Talk. We are still here with the Department of Agriculture Secretary William Dar. Sec, earlier we talked about the legacies of President Duterte, but right now, I want to know about your legacy as a secretary because sa tagal ko po kayong nakilala, Sec, ang dami niyo pong natulungan ng mga farmers, fishermen, and the like. So now, sir, can you please enlighten our viewers and commenters, what has the Department of Agriculture accomplished under your term?
Okay, number one, mayroon tayong inintroduce na new thinking in Philippine agriculture pagpasok po natin sa 2019. At ito naging basehan na maging 1DA reform agenda with 4 pillars kagaya ng farm consolidation, modernization, industrialization, and professionalization with 18 key strategies. Now, with that as an anchor, itong new thinking, gusto kong banggitin yung mga legacies na dito sa Department of Agriculture. Sa palay po ay we attained 19.96 million metric tons in 2021. This is a record harvest. Excuse me. So this leads us to 92% sufficiency in rice. And the rice tariffication law, which has been implemented or approved during the term of President Duterte, ito ay maraming naitulong sa mga magsasaka. Pinataas niya yung ani sa 42 provinces. That's why we have new record harvest. At saka yung ibang components ng rice program, mayroon din hybrid program that considerably have increased the production in rice. Ay yung cost of production ay bumababa from 12 pesos, naging 11 pesos na or lesser. And income derived from a hectare of rice production has increased about 10 to 15,000 average. Now, another important legacy dito sa agriculture, yung corn production natin ay record harvest din, 8.3 million metric tons in 2021. So we will continue every year sa rice, sa corn para mas may pataas pa natin. And let me mention na ano yung pinaka strategy. It's because of the use of technologies and innovations. Now, dito sa livestock and poultry, of course, poultry is showing its resiliency, nagre-rebound, but for piggery, grazing, dito tayo nadali ng African swine fever. But there are good indications na tumataas na yung repopulation, na last year was additionally almost 800,000 heads. This year, it should be more. And one thing to mention this early during this program ay itong mayroon na tayong tinetesting po na bakuna against African swine fever. At yung first phase itong testing ng bakuna na galing ibang bansa ay magandang resulta. So we are now in the second phase this May and June. And before the end of June, siguro pwede natin masabi na mayroon na tayong lunas bakuna against African swine fever. The first in 100-year history of African swine fever. Sa high-value crops naman, dito tayo maganda ang performance. Then Banana, we had an export volume of 4.4 million metric tons, highest in 2019. And we sustain our position to be number 2 in terms of being the exporter of bananas to other countries. We have attained 111% increase in area planted and 50% production volume of cacao for the last 4 years. And attained 99% onion self-sufficiency last year. And we have started to export okra about 33 metric tons in 2021 to South Korea. Ang coconut din ay isang sektor na magandang development. Meron na Republic Act 11524 na inaprobahan ng ating mahal na Pangulo. They have registered 3.2 million coconut farmers dun sa Farmers Registry. And we have distributed 43 million coconut seedlings planted, benefiting 253,000 beneficiaries. And we also distributed 1.9 million hybrid seedlings, coconut seedlings, and 4.8 million OPBs to farmers. Now, we are a part of the clinical studies with the UST on BCO as treatment for COVID-19 patients, which is very positive. Sa fishery projects naman, we distributed 32,000 fiberglass reinforced plastic boats, benefiting 45,787 fisherfolk, individuals, and 447 groups. We have established 729 community fish landing centers and many other things. So, marami pang mga ibang
Yes.
programa, Lia. Yes, Lia.
Yes. Sec, nung naririnig ko po yung mga achievements ng Department of Agriculture, I cannot help but feel proud kung ano po yung nangyari po sa ating agrikultura. Ngayon po, under your leadership. And Secretary Dar, I know a lot of people might not know this, but you are a son of farmers. Do you think, sir, nakatulong ho yun para po mas makatulong pa po kayo sa sektor ng agrikultura dahil mas naiintindihan nyo po kung ano ho ang nangyayari on the ground?
Tama po, Lia, nakatapak tayo sa lupa. Alam natin kung anong mahirap. Kung 2 beses ka lang sa isang araw kumakain. So our heart and minds are really to help the local farmers increase their food production. Yun palagi sinasabi po natin, malaking may tulong. Ang puso natin ay para sa ating Philippine farmers and fishers. Yes.
Yes. Secretary Dar, I know for a fact that you are a man for the people. I've seen how you fight for the underrepresented, the fishermen, the farmers. Now, sir, if I were to ask you, what is your long-lasting legacy na maiiwan niyo po sa Department of Agriculture ngayon?
Okay, nasabi ko na kanina na mayroon tayong new thinking in Philippine agriculture. Sinundan pa natin ng 1DA reform agenda. At finally, mayroon kaming nilaunch in Davao last week. Yung National Agriculture and Fisheries Modernization and Industrial Plan for the next 10 years. So solid ang direction, solid ang roadmap ng Philippine agriculture, how to unleash, how to unlock the potential of Philippine agriculture so that from its anemic performance, it can, and with the resiliency of Philippine agriculture, it can be a big contributor to the gross domestic product of the country. So sana itong next administration po ay mayroon na silang basihan. Of course, they can further strengthen itong national strategic plan sa agriculture. At this is done after 23 years,
Yeah.
After APMA, yung Agriculture and Fisheries Modernization in Agriculture Plan. Ngayon, ay mayroon tayong may masabi na magandang pangitain na may direksyon, may pundasyon at very solid itong pundasyon na ito para ma-develop ang Philippine agriculture.
Secretary Dar, so is it safe to say that you, together with our President Rodrigo Duterte, have further made agriculture to the superpower that it is right now?
Well, we can say, Lia, that yes, the sector is resilient. The Filipino farmers and fishers are resilient. We have just to boost further in terms of more government budgetary support itong bagong liderato para mas matulungan pa natin maitaas yung antas ng productivity levels ng iba't ibang commodity industries para we go near food sovereignty goals. Let me mention, Lia, na base dito sa Strategic Plans Agriculture, ang overarching goal na ay food sovereignty. Let me briefly discuss ano ang ibig sabihin yung food self-sufficiency, food security, and food sovereignty. Okay, food self-sufficiency at all costs, you produce all the food that you need in the country. But I can also safely say, Lia, that there's no country in the world, even the most advanced, are not producing 100% their food requirements. So they buy from other countries where they have the competitive advantage or comparative advantage. Doon sila na dinidevelop yung mga commodities. What about food security, which is now the present overarching goal of agriculture? Okay, because of global trade, we produce commodities that we have the comparative advantage and buy from outside what is lacking. Of course, we do our best to produce locally, but any gap or deficit, you augment it from the outside. So the global trade is involved here. Now, what about food sovereignty? Because of the crisis now facing the world, I would say in this program, Lia, that there is a brewing food crisis today and still coming. I mean, it's now starting. You can see inflation going high. You can see recession because of all of these impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic, yung pagtaas ng presyo ng petroleum at saka yung Ukraine war.
Yes.
So po ito, the global supply chain is disrupted. Yung prices of agricultural inputs are really skyrocketing. So dapat iba na ang pananaw natin dito sa Pilipinas. In times of crisis, we now have to go to food sovereignty as the overarching goal. We have to, and what are the prerequisites of this? You need to significantly put up and give the government budgetary support so that you can produce as much as we could here in the Philippines. Because even if you have money today, when there are disruptions of logistics and the food supply chain, wala ka naman mabili o kunti or mataas masyado na. So dapat talagang itong bagong administrasyon, food sovereignty will now be the overarching goal para dagdagan ng pondo at we will make our farmers and fishers more competitive, more productive, and more profitable. And of course, you have also to take into consideration yung income, yung livelihood opportunities will lead to more income. So ganun po ang pananaw po natin dito sa bagong strategic plan at tayo ay handa makipagtulungan para may discuss po natin ito sa publiko at saka sa bagong liderato.
Yes. Secretary, I know you are a humble man and you are a recipient of the Lifetime Excellence Award, the Outstanding Filipino Award. Sir, sa tingin niyo po ba, enough na po ba yung time na naibigay niyo sa Pilipinas para pagserbisyohan ho kami para po sa sektor ng agrikultura?
Ako po ay nasa edad na. Pero ako, ang aking pananaw, ang aking puso at damdamin ay nandyan pa rin yung sigla na gustong tumulong sa pagpapaunlad ng ating sektor ng agrikultura. So, I think my stint for the second time as Secretary of Agriculture has been very successful, interesting. There are big challenges. We are not going away with those big challenges.
Yes.
But we have sown the seed, so to speak, for a better agriculture. And given opportunity again, I am offering my services to the country.
Secretary Dar, before we take a short break, may I just ask, if given a chance, if you would be appointed again as Secretary of Agriculture, would you accept and why?
Hindi ko po, ayaw ko pong pangunahan na dapat ako maging Secretary ng Agriculture. What I'm only saying, Lia, ay nandito po tayo at gustong magbigay pa rin ng serbisyo sa ating bayan. Of course, if I am offered the position, I will gladly accept it, Lia.
Yes. Secretary, upon your acceptance, would you be continuing the Duterte legacy?
Marami po dapat ipagpatuloy po dito sa naumpisan natin. Ito na nga, mayroon na tayong strategic plan. Yun na po ang gabay, yun na po ang plataforma para sa ganon na ma-unlock natin yung potensyal ng Philippine agriculture. Pasiglahin po natin ang ating mga farmers to become more competitive from their present state kasi marami pa tayong isaayos. Ang dami pang mga kulang sa rice industry nyo lang. Let me mention yung post-harvest facilities, drying facilities, tracking facilities, yung milling facilities, warehousing, yung complete chain na yan. Kailangan po dagdagan po ang pondo. Ganon din sa corn industry. Kailangan din ng post-harvest facilities. Nagagamit po ang highways natin pa rin as drying facilities. So these are all very basic facilities that we need to help our farmers become more productive and more profitable at the end of the day. So ganun po, marami tayong experience, hindi lang dito sa Pilipinas. I worked in India for 15 years at very solid po yung ating pananaw na still part of our strategy is to partner with the various countries in the world. We need not reinvent the wheel, but we should have more R&D to support Philippine agriculture. We should have more of this kadiwa ni Ani at Kita. We should give more break to the younger generation. We have institutionalized many programs for the youth, including women. And even the infrastructure projects in agriculture. This is the time for build to cross-synergize with agriculture. Kung ano po yung pangangailangan na infrastruktura na malalaki, ang sektor ng agrikultura ay ganun sana rin ang pananaw ng Department of Public Works and Highway. Para sa ganon ay ito na yung pag-suporta sa kanayunan sa mga rural areas at ito na yung tinitignan po ng ating mga magsasaka at mangingisda na sila na po ay aangat. They are now going to be more prosperous than present.
Yes. The Department of Agriculture with Secretary William Dar as its leader proved to be a department that not only think about the present issues that the country is facing, but also think about yung future po natin. Secretary William Dar, we give you the floor. We give you the floor to talk to our kababayans, our viewers and commenters, kung ano po ang dapat nilang maasahan sa pagko-continue po ng Duterte legacy and your parting words also, Secretary.
Salamat ulit, Lia. Let me take this opportunity Alam po ninyo with the COVID-19 pandemic impacts, yung pagtataas ng petroleum prices, yung Ukraine war, ang mundo po natin ay nasa peligro, nasa crisis, nasa emergency. And with that, we are not spared from this global emergency. There is going to be world recession, there is inflation. And so it is incumbent upon all of us Filipinos to become plantitos plantita. Let's be part of the Plant program, Part 2 of the Department of Agriculture. This is the platform with which we harness the power of the Filipinos to really produce their own food. There must be food always in the home, while the farmers and the fishers are really doing their best to prop up productivity of various commodity industries. It is now time to really go to this goal of food sovereignty, and during crisis situations like this, the next government will really have to make that or have that political will to say, yes, food security, now food sovereignty is one of the topmost priority of the Philippine government. And in so doing, you also give the signal to the private sector to come in and invest big. And this is the time for agriculture really to be invested by the big corporations in partnership with the farmers cooperatives and associations that we are continuously building, because we believe still that the farmers cooperatives and associations are the basic foundation for the farmers and the fishers to be very, collectively doing farming operations, including that of marketing. So I take this opportunity also to thank President Rodrigo Duterte for having trusted me, for having supported me all this more than 2.5 years now as Secretary of the Department of Agriculture. And gusto ko rin masabi po na ginawa po natin lahat na makakaya under the circumstances that are there, and we can really do much better. Again, to summarize, there must be political will to give topmost priority, or one of the topmost priorities in the country is agriculture, and with significant budget that must be given to bring our farmers and fishers to a more competitive level.
Yeah.
So thank you for this opportunity again, Lia.
Secretary, I have to say, your words have brought inspiration po to me, and I'm sure to everybody who is listening and watching you, kasi the Philippines is an agricultural country. We have rich land, hardworking farmers, and a remarkable chief of the DA to support us and to ensure that it remains to be the superpower that it is today. Thank you very much, Secretary, for always accommodating us, and may God bless you and your family, Sec.
Salamat po. God bless ang ating Pilipinas.
Watch Straight Talk live every Tuesday at 10 a.m. on Daily Tribune's official Facebook page and on Tribune Now on YouTube. Again, I'm Attorney Lia Badillo-Crisostomo, and this has been Straight Talk.